Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to be looking at lesson 1-5. We're still in our algebra review. We're skipping all the way to the end of algebra, and we are going to be talking about quadratics. So first and foremost, lesson 1-5 is about factoring quadratics. We're going to review that. And then we're going to go to lesson 1-6, which is going to be on solving quadratics. So make sure you know the difference between an expression and an equation. All right, let me go to my iNotebook. You guys go ahead and get your iNotebooks out, and we will get started. Takes a second for it to load. All right. So this is lesson 1-5, and it is on factoring quadratics. In your guided notes that I gave you, you should have gotten this. We're going to cut this in half. We've got two parts, so we're going to put one of it on each side of our page here. Go ahead and cut it into two. And we're going to first talk about factoring by the factor sum game. So let's get started with this. So to factor quadratics in the form of ax squared plus bx squared c, where a equals 1, so this is when there really isn't an a at all, you can use the factor sum game to factor. Okay, so I have step-by-step instructions here. So the first one, step one, factor adding GCFs if possible. Look over to our example. We have a 5 and a -5 and a -100. Definitely has a factor of 5. So we're going to pull a factor of 5 out of every term, which leaves x squared minus x minus 20. So that's always, remember, GCFs are super, super important to get them out of the way before we get started. Okay, so we are going to play the factor sum game. So remember that quadratics in the form of x squared plus bx plus c are what we're going to be looking for. Now, in our instructions up here, it says ax squared, but remember the a is only going to be a 1. So we are looking for the factors, so what can we multiply by, of c that have a sum of b. So we're looking for what can we multiply to get the c, but those two factors that multiply to c have to add up to b. So here's how we do this. We're going to make our table, our factor sum game. So we're going to have factors on the left side, sums on the right. So we're looking for, here's our equation, ax squared plus bx plus c. We're looking for the factors of c, so that would be -20, the factors of -20, but that add up to, excuse me, -1. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the -20. We're going to start with 1, so we're going to do 1 and -20. The reason that I'm doing 1 and -20 and not -1 and +20 is because I know that my sums have to be negative. So therefore, I have to have more negatives than positives. So then if I add these together, I get -19. Well, this is a -1, that's a -19, so we know that one's not going to work. The next one would be 2 and -10. That would be -18. Oh, that one didn't work. 3 doesn't go into 20. 4 would be the next one. 4 and -5. That gives me -1. Oh, there's the one that I'm looking for right there. So that's our sum game, trying to figure out which one of the factors work. And then step 3 says use your factors to rewrite the expression in factored form. Don't forget the GCF if you had one. So we have a GCF, is a 5, that stays in front. And then these are our factors. So we're going to do x plus 4 and x minus 5. If we were to FOIL this out, if we were to work that back out using FOIL or boxes, it should come back to this original problem. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to factor it out. So, I hope you remember those. So we're going to take this and we're going to go ahead and tape it into our iNotebook. Remember your tape rule, an inch or less. Okay. Now the second part of this is, well, what happens if you have an A? So the second part was this one, where we're going to remember how to do slide and divide. I'm going to go ahead and tape this in real quick. That way it doesn't move around so much. Okay. So two factor quadratic expressions in the form of x squared plus bxy plus c, where a is not 1, we are going to use the slide and divide method to factor. So again, this is one that we learned last year as well. So let's look at our example. So step one, factor out any GCFs if there are necessary. There aren't any GCFs here, so we can move on to the next one. Step two is slide the a to the c and multiply. So if we have 2x squared plus 9x minus 5, we are going to slide the 2 over to the c, and we're going to multiply the 2 times c. And then we're going to rewrite the quadratic. So we're going to rewrite x squared plus 9x. We took the 2, we multiplied it to the negative 5 and got negative 10. So that's the slide part of the slide and divide. Step 3, then, we are going to use the factor sum game. That's what we learned previously to factor the quadratic. So we know the factors and sums of negative 10. Well, that's only 1 and negative 10 or negative 1 and positive 10. So it's either a negative 9 or a positive 9. It looks like this one's the one that we want. And then we're going to go ahead and factor it. So that would be x minus 1, x plus 10. Now I have kids that just stop here, but this is slide and divide. So we've got more to it that we need to take care of. So step 4 says divide the original by both original a by both factors and simplify your fractions if necessary. So our original a was a 2. So we need to divide x minus 1 and x plus 10. We're going to divide the factors by the a that we started with. So we slid the a, now we have to divide the a, hence why it's called slide and divide. And then it says simplify your fractions if necessary. So we have x minus 1/2, that one didn't simplify, and 10 over 2 is 5, so x plus 5. And then step 5, we are going to move the denominator in front of the variable in each factor. So we're going to take our 2. What we're going to do is take our 2 and we're going to move it in front. So this becomes 2x minus 1. And then this one just had a 1 underneath it, so x is the same as 1x. That one doesn't change. So x plus 5. If you were to FOIL or boxes these out, then it would go back to that. So let's do another example of slide and divide just to kind of shake some rust off. So we are going to use slide and divide to factor completely. And our example that we're going to be using is 5c squared plus 13c plus 6. So going back to our directions, our first step is to factor out any GCFs if necessary. Well, there are no GCFs at 5 and 13 and 6. So our next step then is to slide the a to the c and multiply. So we're going to take our 5, we're going to slide it over to the 6, and we're going to multiply. So we have c squared plus 13c plus 30. So now we have a regular old factorable quadratic. So we're going to do our factor sum game. So we can do 1 and 30, which is 31. That didn't work. 2 and 15, which is 17. That didn't work. 3 and 10, which is 13. There it is. That's the one we want right there. So we're going to make this c plus 3 and c plus 10. And then we are going to divide the next step right here, divide the original by both factors. So the original one that we multiplied by, so we're going to divide this by 5, and we're going to divide this by 5. We're going to simplify our fractions. So c plus 3 over 5 doesn't simplify. But c over 10 over 2 becomes c plus 10. And then our last step is we're going to take any denominators and move them in front. So this becomes 5c plus 3 and c plus 2. I'm always going to double check, make sure that I didn't have any factors to pull out. I don't have anything here in front. And that is slide and divide. I'm going to give you guys one. I'm not going to work it out, but I'm going to give you the answer here in just a minute. It is 9x to the third power minus 51x squared plus 60x. I want you to use slide and divide. Go ahead and pause the video. Use slide and divide. See if you can get the correct answer, and then come back and I will tell you what the answer is. Okay, welcome back. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to factor out a GCF. We do have a GCF of 3, so we can take a 3 out of all of them. And we also have x's in every one, so we're going to take a 3x out. So that gives us 3x squared left over minus 17x plus 20. So from here, we're going to slide and divide. So we're going to slide. There's our 3x in front. We now have x squared minus 17x plus 60. So because this is negative, I know that in my factor sum game, I'm going to have a negative times a negative. So we know that we had -1 and -60. That's -61. That didn't work. -2 and -30. That's -32. That doesn't work. -3 and -20. There's -23. That didn't work. -4 and -15, -19. We're getting closer, but that one didn't work. And -6 and -10 gives us -60. Whoops, I'm sorry, -16. Oh, I missed 5. That's where it goes. 5 should be there. -5 and -12. There's my -17. I just missed it, barely. Okay, so I'm going to come up here, rewrite my factor that I factored out, and I've got x minus 5 and x minus 12. Going to take my 3 that I slid and put it in here. Simplify, so we have 3x over x minus 5 over 3 and x minus 4. And then I'm going to move my denominator to the front. So my answer is 3x times 3x minus 5 times x minus 4. Did you get the right answer? So that is all I have for you. If you want more examples, if you'd like some help, come and see me. I would be more than happy to work some more of these through with you. And until next time, we'll see you later.